Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today we're taking a bit of a detour. Instead of our usual kind of analysis, we're sharing some truly unsettling real-life travel stories, accounts of journeys that went horribly wrong, things that might make you rethink your next vacation. And just to be clear, these aren't urban legends or fiction. These are things that actually happen to people.
They really are quite chilling, and they give you this stark glimpse into, well, the unpredictable dangers that can pop up, even when you think you're in a perfectly safe, normal situation.
Exactly. The way things can just flip.
From totally benign to genuinely terrifying, often playing on trust or just being somewhere unfamiliar.
Yeah, precisely. So today we've got 3 pretty disturbing encounters lined up. There's one involving a suspicious stranger in, like, a regular hotel, another about a really creepy revelation on an airplane, and a final one detailing multiple terrifying escapes in the Mexican jungle.
Each one really underscores that need for vigilance.
It does. So settle in. Try to put yourself in their shoes as we hear the first story. Okay, this first one, it happened in San Diego. This person, they traveled alone quite a bit, and San Diego was on their California bucket list, finally making it happen. They booked a decent hotel, near downtown. Seemed convenient. So they're checking in, and this man, maybe a little older, starts a conversation, friendly enough, asking where they're from, how long they're staying. Said it was his second time there, also traveling solo, and then he offers, hey, let me help you with your bags up to your room. Said he was going upstairs anyway, it was the second floor. The traveler thought, okay, that's kind. Maybe a bit forward, but harmless. So they accepted. He carries the bags up the elevator, down the hall, sets them by the door, wishes them a good stay, and then just heads off down the corridor.
And right there, that seemingly innocent gesture, helping with the bags, from a behavioral standpoint, that's often how it starts, this sort of feigned helpfulness.
Feigned helpful.
Yeah. It's a classic way to lure someone's guard, get past those initial defenses. And crucially, maybe find out important details, like a room number, or just get a sense of the person. It really uses our own politeness against us. Makes it hard to say no, even if something feels a tiny bit off.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. And unsettling. Which brings us straight to the first real red flag here. After settling in, taking a quick nap, the traveler goes back downstairs, ready to head out. But the front desk attendant, she calls them over, quietly. She asks about the man who helped with the bags. When the traveler explains, the attendant gets this worried look. She says, listen, that guy, he was standing outside the hotel for a while before you even got here. Watched you come in, then came right in after you. She's pretty sure he wasn't actually a guest. And she told the traveler, straight up, stay away from him.
Good on that attendant for speaking up. That takes courage, but it's vital information.
Absolutely. The traveler was, understandably, really freaked out by this, hoping she was mistaken, but definitely on alert now. Okay, so later that day, they're back from exploring, getting ready for dinner, decide to take another quick nap. Then a soft knock on the door, followed by a quiet male voice. Housekeeping! But, they hadn't called for service. It's the first day. Seemed weird. They thought, maybe, wrong room. So they checked the people. Nobody there. Just empty hallway.
That's immediately suspicious. The timing, the fact no one's visible.
Yeah, totally. And instantly, the traveler thinks of the man from the lobby. Could it be him? Testing the door. They just ignore it. Don't answer. Then they call the front desk, and the desk confirms, nope, no housekeeping was sent to your room. Just to be safe, the traveler asks them to send an actual maid up. 5 minutes later, a female hotel maid knocks. Traveler explains what happened, thanks her, then heads out for dinner, feeling really been easy now. Right, so after dinner, a city lights tour, they get back around 10 p.m. They talk to the new person at the front desk. Explain again about the weird housekeeping knock earlier. This worker hadn't seen anyone matching the description. She even checked the live camera feed for their floor, said the hallway was clear, so maybe feeling a little reassured. The traveler goes up, gets ready for bed, turns on the TV to fall asleep. Within the hour, they're drifting off. And then it happens. That absolute nightmare moment. In that blurry state, half asleep, they feel the mattress shift. Wait on the other side of the bed. They open their eyes. And there's a man. Black mask covering his face. Baseball cap pulled low. He's getting onto the bed. Reaching for them. He grabs them, tries to clamp his hand over their mouth. Oh my God.
But they fight back. Instinct kicks in. Manage to let out a scream. Like a blood-curdling scream. He keeps trying to silence them. They're struggling, resisting. Just long enough. Because suddenly, someone starts banging loudly on the hotel room door. The traveler yells, help! The attacker must have realized it was over. He lets go, opens the door, shoves the woman who was knocking, probably hotel staff, shoves her right to the floor, and just bolts, runs down the hall towards the stairs. Gone.
That is absolutely terrifying. A complete violation of safety in a place you assume is secure. And the fact he got into the room? You mentioned a master key later.
Yeah, that's what the police figured out. When they arrived, they reviewed the hotel security footage. Somehow, this guy had obtained a master key.
That's a critical failure, a massive security breach. Getting a master key that implies either an inside job or a really serious lapse in how they manage key security. Or maybe even a sophisticated hack if it was electronic.
It's horrifying to think about.
And it points to premeditation, doesn't it? He likely got the room number from that initial helpful encounter. That's what the travelers strongly believed. It had to be the same guy. Why else help with the bags, just to find out the room?
And then wait until the occupant was likely asleep, vulnerable. It's chillingly calculated.
So the aftermath. The woman who knocked, staff, neighbors all came, police report filed. But his face was covered. Never properly identified, never caught. The hotel gave a full refund, moved the traveler to a different room, but they were left wondering, should they have pressed charges against the hotel itself for that key situation?
It's a valid question. Hotels have a duty of care.
And the chilling part is you wonder if he ever did this again, successfully.
Exactly. Unresolved leaves a terrible feeling.
Okay, let's shift gears. Our next story takes us up in the air. Somewhere we often feel strangely safe, almost detached. This happened back around 2013, maybe 2014. It involves a college freshman, a young woman described as being pretty small in stature. She was flying from New York City back home to Bulgaria for the Christmas holidays. It's an 8-hour flight to Istanbul, and she finds herself stuck in the middle seat between two significantly larger men. The guy on her right, quiet, kept to himself, but the man on her left, he was unsettling from the start, mumbling sometimes, picking at his skin, nudging his arm a bit too close occasionally, and just staring at her very directly, bluntly. She tried to rationalize it. Maybe he had a disability, but it just felt off, creepy.
That constant proximity and odd behavior in a confined space like an airplane, it creates instant anxiety. There's no escape.
None at all. So at one point, she's watching a show on her tablet. It was American Horror Story Season 2, Asylum. That season deals with some pretty dark stuff. Mental illness, murderers.
Right, very intense themes.
And suddenly, the man on her left speaks to her, out of the blue. He asks her why she's watching a show that, in his opinion, represents mentally ill people and murderers so poorly. She's taken aback, nervous, asks him if he needs something. And then comes the quote. The thing that just freezes your blood. He looks her dead in the eye and says, completely seriously, I just think it's fucked up how everyone thinks people who skin others alive are crazy.
Then he pauses, still staring, and adds, aren't we all like that?
Wow. Okay. That's beyond just creepy. That's a direct psychological threat. It's designed to terrify. In psychology, we'd see that as extreme boundary testing, a projection of, frankly, a deeply disturbed mindset. He's trying to get a reaction, gauge vulnerability.
Oh, she was terrified, absolutely freaking out inside, wondering, who is this person? Did anyone else hear that? She tried to play it cool, even give a nervous little laugh, tried to brush it off.
Common defense mechanism. Deflection. But for the rest of that long flight, she was just paralyzed with fear. Kept thinking, should I ask a flight attendant if there's another seat? Anywhere else. But she didn't. Just endured it. Finally, they land in Istanbul. She grabbed her stuff so fast and practically ran off that plane. Just wanted away from him.
Understandably, just getting away feels like survival at that point.
But the story doesn't end there, unfortunately. Christmas break happens. She goes home. But what he said, it just stuck with her, echoing in her head. So January comes. She's packing to go back to New York for school. She's going through the tote bag she used for her travels. And tucked inside, she finds a note. A disgusting, handwritten note. It must have been slipped in there on the plane, maybe while she was asleep or distracted. It read, I wish I could see what you look like under your skin.
Oh, that is deeply disturbing. A calculated, delayed act of terror.
She said she immediately felt sick and later really regretted not taking a picture of it.
Keeping that souvenir, it extends the psychological control, the fear.
And then comes the final, horrifying confirmation. About a month later, it's February. Her younger sister sends her a link to a news article. It's about the man from the plane. The exact same man. He'd been arrested and jailed in Istanbul. The charges, multiple counts of rape, attempted rape, kidnapping, attempted kidnapping, and first-degree murder.
My God. That's it. It's confirmation of her absolute worst fears. A nightmare realized. The coincidence is staggering, but it validates everything she felt. That deep sense of dread wasn't paranoia. It was accurate perception of a real threat.
She said reading that, connecting his face from the plane, his words, that awful note, to those horrific crimes. It just made her stomach turn.
I can only imagine. That kind of experience, it changes you. It must have profoundly altered her sense of safety, her trust in strangers.
Yeah, she said she avoided holiday travel for years after that. Who could blame her?
No one. It's trauma. Plain and simple.
Okay, deep breath. One more story for you today. This one takes us to Mexico, winter of 2018. A couple, let's call them Claire and her partner, looking for a warm escape, found a nice, affordable beach resort. All-inclusive deal, look perfect. Crystal blue water, good weather, the whole package.
Sounds idyllic. The kind of trip many people dream of.
Exactly. So on their third day, they think, let's explore a bit. They decide to rent a car. Mostly jungle around the resort, some scenic roads. But their shuttle driver, when dropping them off, gave them a warning. He said, basically, don't stray too far off the main coastal road. Lots of unsafe areas further inland.
A local warning.
Yeah.
Always worth heeding those.
They rented a little Ford Fiesta, not much choice, from a place near the resort. The area is mostly this one long road along the coast, resorts on one side, jungle on the other, with occasional small towns, so they drive south, check out Tulum. Weren't that impressed, actually. Turn around, heading back north, they see this wide dirt road leading off into the jungle. Looks interesting. Decide, okay, let's see where this goes. Drive down it for a bit. Nice scenery. But Claire starts feeling uneasy, like, maybe we shouldn't be on this rough road in a rental car. Might get it filthy or stuck. Partner agrees. They do a 3-point turn, start heading back to the main road, and that's when it happens. First encounter. 3 men suddenly step out from the jungle, blocking the dirt road ahead of them.
Oh boy. Straight into an ambush scenario.
Yeah, they both knew instantly this is bad. The partner driving slows down, stops, lowers the window just a crack. One man walks up to the driver's side, starts speaking Spanish. The driver just says, "No hablo español." Then things escalate fast. Another man goes over to Claire's side, starts knocking on her window. Driver tells her, don't open it. The man at the driver's window just starts saying, "Money, money," and then he pulls out a knife from his pocket, plain as day.
Wow. Broad daylight, direct confrontation, knife involved. Extremely dangerous.
Absolutely no hesitation. The driver just reacted, slammed on the gas, sped right past them. The men yelled, started to run after the car, but the little Fiesta pulled away quickly.
Good reaction. Quick thinking.
Oh.
Disrupting their plan immediately was key. They rely on that initial shock and compliance.
Their hearts were absolutely pounding. They didn't slow down until they were back on the paved main road.
I bet. Adrenaline dump.
Totally. After that, they were like, okay, no more exploring for us. They just parked the rental back at the resort. Didn't even return it right away. Rentals were cheap. Just left it there.
Smart move. Listen to your instincts after an encounter like that.
But then, just a few days later, they let their guard down again. A worker at the resort mentioned a beautiful cenote nearby, those natural swimming holes. Said it was lovely, recommended they check it out. So, hesitantly, they decide, okay, one more try. It's supposed to be close to the resort. They get back in the rental Fiesta, follow the directions, leads them down another dirt path, very similar to the last one.
Uh-oh. Deja vu.
Right. They drive to the end, park near a sign for the cenote, find the pathway easily. It looks beautiful, actually. Scenic, peaceful, and surprisingly, they seem to be the only people there.
Isolation can be beautiful, but also makes you vulnerable.
Exactly. As they're walking down this path towards the water, they start to get that feeling of being watched. It wasn't just paranoia, they could hear it, rustling in the jungle around them, footsteps, always just out of sight.
That's incredibly unnerving. The unseen threat.
They try to ignore it, keep walking. Maybe it's just animals. Wishful thinking. Then, boom. A man steps out onto the path ahead of them, starts speaking Spanish. Again, the driver says, "No hablo español." The man switches to broken English, tries to get them to go a different way, says he'll lead them to the cenote, gesturing away from the signs they were following.
The misdirection tactic. Trying to lure them off the known path. Big warning sign.
Claire and her partner look at each other, nervous. They follow him just a few steps, uncertain. Then Claire subtly taps her partner's shoulder, points to the man's back pocket, sticking out, clearly visible, the handle of a large knife.
There it is again, the weapon. This isn't a friendly guide. This confirms the feeling of being watched, the rustling, they're being sized up, targeted.
As soon as they saw the knife, the partner whispered urgently to Claire, "Run!" Pushed her slightly to get her going, then turned and sprinted right behind her, back towards the car. The man realized they'd bolted and started chasing them. But thankfully, maybe he wasn't expecting it or just wasn't fast. They easily outran him.
Another close call. Trusting that gut feeling, seeing the weapon, and immediate flight saved them again.
They get back to the Fiesta, hearts pounding again, thinking maybe he gave up. But just as they jump in the car, 3 more people emerged from the jungle pass they just ran from.
Oh, so it was a group waiting.
Yeah, and they didn't hesitate. Ran straight for the car, started yanking on the door handles, banging hard on the windows, trying to smatter their way in.
Desperate, aggressive assault.
The couple just threw the car in reverse, then forward, tires spinning on the dirt, got out of there fast, before the windows could shatter.
Incredible they escaped both times. Just incredibly lucky and quick thinking.
They were completely shaken, crying, just done, hated it, drove straight back to the rental place, returned the car, thankfully no damage beyond dirt, took a shuttle back to the resort, and that was it. They did not leave the resort grounds again for the rest of the trip.
I don't blame them one bit. 2 potentially lethal encounters in just a few days.
They made sure to warn the resort staff, told them exactly what happened, where it happened, so other guests could be warned. But they said they haven't been back to Mexico since, and they're not sure they ever will. Even staying near the resorts didn't feel safe enough after that.
And that's the impact, isn't it? Even following advice, staying relatively close, danger found them twice. It shatters that sense of security travel is supposed to offer, at least partially. Makes you question every unfamiliar corner.
It really does. These stories, they're tough to hear, but they all hit on that same unsettling point, don't they? Danger can just appear unexpectedly in places you think are safe from people who seem harmless at first, especially when you're out of your element.
And if you connect the dots, they serve as this really potent reminder. Travel broadens the mind. It's enriching, yes. But that vigilance, trusting your gut instincts, recognizing those subtle red flags, it's not paranoia, it's paramount. The line between adventure and real peril can be incredibly thin sometimes. And knowing when to back away, when to run, that's crucial.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this, particularly chilling deep dive into these true accounts that definitely leave a mark. Makes you think differently about heading out into the world, or even just noticing who's around you day to day. Thanks so much for tuning in to the deep dive. We genuinely like to hear your thoughts on these stories, so please leave comments below. Or if you've had any similar unsettling experiences, feel free to share. And hey, if you appreciate these kinds of terrifying true stories, please support the channel. Horror Docs! You know the drill. Hit that like button. Share this deep dive with anyone else who likes truly chilling tales. And definitely subscribe so you don't miss what we uncover next. Until then, stay aware out there. And maybe double check that hotel door lock tonight.